Welcome to our special, Iran, the ticking bomb. I'm Dan Senor. This week, Iranian President Ahmadinejad came here to New York City, to the UN, and showed the world it has a real problem. He claimed Iran doesn't want atomic weapons, but didn't explain why it kept its nuclear program secret, and then declared the matter closed. He wouldn't answer a straightforward question. Does Iran want to destroy Israel? And he dismissed charges that Iran is supplying terrorists in Iraq, and told the UN he is ready to share its nuclear know-how with other members. This hour, a Fox News investigation. What you didn't know about Iran and the bomb. How its leaders ordered murderous attacks when their nuclear plans were thwarted. How the UN's nuclear watchdog failed to block those plans. America's secret effort to stop Iran without bloodshed. But first we go to Iraq, where Iranian weapons and Iranian-trained terrorists are killing American soldiers right now.
You are watching U.S. soldiers patrolling an area near Baghdad. They call it EFP Central. EFP is short for explosively formed projectile, a dreadfully efficient roadside bomb. The Pentagon says that the most lethal EFPs are made in Iran and were responsible for 30% of all U.S. troop deaths in July.
I've been out where these threats are concentrated and been out on patrol with guys who have lost unit members. I mean, I've seen the vehicles where this molten metal penetrates the armor.
Army Major Eric Eglin was on that U.S. patrol in EFP Central. He's a counterterrorism advisor to the Pentagon, who's become one of the United States' top experts on roadside bombs. He told us that EFPs are so deadly because they are engineered so that the blast is concentrated in one direction, as seen here in this video believed to be made by insurgents. That's different from a typical roadside bomb.
If you think of a mortar round, when it explodes, the blast goes in 360 degrees, so it just sort of hits everything around it. But if you took all that blast effect and put it in one direction, it becomes much more powerful, and that's why they're able to penetrate our armor.
The engineering that goes into EFPs also makes them easier to trace. They're made with precisely machined copper plates. That makes it clear who made them.
These weapons have been used by Iranian proxies such as Hezbollah against Israeli forces as well.
How do you know it's not coming from another country?
We've captured these weapons at drops and interdicted them coming across the Iranian border.
The Iranians have blood on their hands. They are clearly responsible for killing, through their proxies, hundreds of American soldiers.
And not just with EFPs, says Senator Joe Lieberman. Iran is also sending over missiles and other weapons and even training terrorists how to murder our troops.
Iranian training of extremists who are killing Americans in Iraq is being carried out by the Quds Force of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, which reports directly to the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei.
Iran denies all this. In fact, when U.S. Ambassador to Iraq, Ryan Crocker, held direct talks with Iran last summer, Iran said it simply wanted to help end the violence. Joe Lieberman says that's nonsense.
Here's the point. We have now, at least twice, through our ambassador in Baghdad, presented to the Iranian ambassador in Baghdad evidence of their complicity in the deaths of hundreds of Americans, and they don't do anything, and we don't respond at all.
It's an act of war.
It is an act of war, and if we don't respond to it in some strong way, the Iranians are going to take it as a sign of weakness.
Alireza Jafarzadeh says if the U.S. wants to strike back against Iran, he knows the targets to hit. He showed us on enlarged satellite images, starting with the factories that are making those deadly EFPs.
All the EFPs that were transferred to Iraq and killed the Americans as the #1 killer of the American forces were all built in this complex. You're saying the bombs that are used to kill and maim Americans, you allege can be pinpointed right here into these buildings. Absolutely, Dan.
Jafarzadeh says he gets his information from the Mujahideen al-Haq, or MEK, a group that's trying to overthrow the current regime in Iran. He has a good track record. He first revealed to the world Iran's nuclear sites in 2002, and he had more to show us on those satellite pictures.
My sources inside Iran uncovered 3 major terrorist training camps in Iran that are now being used solely for training Iraqi, mostly Shiite militias. The Iranian regime brings these Iraqis all the way to Tehran in the most secretive way.
It's here, Jafarzadeh says, that Iran's Quds Force and leaders of Hezbollah are running a boot camp for insurgents.
They undergo 5 different kinds of trainings here. One dealing with light weapons. A second, they train sharpshooters. A third, they actually train the Iraqis to handle mortars and missiles. Fourth, they train them for handling explosives. And finally, they train them to launch shoulder-launched missiles.
We made repeated attempts to talk to someone from the Iranian government about Jafarzadeh's findings and all the issues we raise in this hour. Iran refused, saying Fox News had insulted Ahmadinejad on our air and that Jafarzadeh could not be trusted.
The Iranian government says that you should not be believed.
I'm the one who revealed the nuclear site in Natanz, revealed the nuclear site in Iraq. The details of the commanders of the Revolutionary Guards in the Hobart Tower operation in Saudi Arabia, and a whole host of other terrorist activities of the Iran regime, all of which have been proven accurate. So in fact, it's an honor for me that the Iran regime is attacking me.
Iran's scared right now more than anything else I've seen. What do you think their strategy is globally?
Well, you've got to judge leaders of nations, know what they say and what they do. They're running proxy wars all over the Middle East, and it's all about killing Americans and convincing the American people to give up on that part of the world.
Later this hour, how the Pentagon would try to take out Iran's nuclear program. But first, terrorism and Iran's nuclear ambition.